But there is a real question about whether the DNC official who said it's constitutional B rhymes with witches in a tweet today was a little premature in his celebration on the political front.
Well, maybe he was talking about dogs. I don't know. I do know this. If, in fact, Mitt Romney does go on to win the presidency on November 6th, we will look back to today. We will look back on this afternoon, this decision this morning, as what made it possible. This will be, if Romney prevails, one of the most substantial means by which he does it.
He's already come out and said the Supreme Court may have made their decision, but the American people have not. Day one, job one, repeal Obamacare. And we're told from his campaign he's already received $1 million in donations since this morning's ruling. The Fox News poll suggests 60% of the American public still does not want this law. And now they've been told they have to live with it by the Supreme Court unless they do something politically.
Well, think about this. The prediction from the establishment press and from Democrats for a long time was that Mitt Romney was going to have so much trouble getting conservatives on board. There was going to be a long primary process, and Romney would never really win over the right. Well, guess what? The Supreme Court just did his job for him. Romney, who finished the process a lot earlier than expected, now knows that every conservative, because this is the most important issue to them in so many ways, is going to go march for him. And in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Florida and all these places, the same kind of voters who went out and gave Republicans the largest victory in 2 generations in 2010 are going to go march for Mitt Romney. He knows that. Now he can count on that, and they'll be with him all the way.
How does the president manage that dynamic, Chris? When I think back, I mean, Hammer and I were co-hosting America's Newsroom for that Arlen Specter town hall, and I think back to the passions of the American public, those who oppose this law in particular, and they still reign in the majority, that comment that you've awakened the sleeping giant, and one of these Republicans in the House came out today and said it happened again. How does President Obama manage the anger that a lot of people still have about the government, in their view, intruding in their relationship with their doctors?
We'll try this one on for size. It's been held in abeyance for these 282 days since the president signed the law. A lot of companies, a lot of employers, a lot of insurance companies have held off on doing things because they didn't know what the Supreme Court was going to do. Well, now the Supreme Court's acted, and they're going to flip the switch on all of this stuff. You're going to see all of these things start going into place. People's premiums may go up. People may be shifted out of their insurance. Employers may dump them. What's that going to do to that 60% number that you talked about? What is that going to do to public disaffection for this legislation? You enter a place where it could be maybe not as intense in terms of people yelling at Arlen Specter, but where it may be more intense in terms of people really come to dislike this law in specific as opposed to the abstract.
Because you've got a situation now where you're going to have the left and President Obama saying, look, we've got millions of Americans who are now going to get kicked off of health care once it kicks in, if Mitt Romney becomes president. And on the other side, the right believes that we've just created another social entitlement program that we will never get out of if President Obama wins a second term. And that's how the stakes will be defined.
I think that's exactly right. Now, I can sum it up this way. At the White House, it's a good day. The president's probably very happy that he was vindicated by the Supreme Court. But out in Chicago, at the president's campaign headquarters, this cannot have been the happiest news. I'm sure from a cynical political perspective, they much rather would have had this issue go away and the Supreme Court take it down so the president could go rally the troops. Instead, it's Romney's troops who are rallied.
Chris Stirewalt, thank you, sir.
You betcha.